Hello and welcome. This is Manifestation Mastery Course video 32A. And today I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 steps necessary to magnify your intentions, magnify your manifestation. So it's important that you watch this whole video, because at the end of this video I'm going to direct you to another video which will give you some hands-on techniques that you can use to put these 5 steps into action. But first, I'm going to explain to you what these 5 steps are and why you need them. So, first thing you need to understand is that your ability to manifest will be limited based upon your assumptions about yourself, about the universe, and about your relationship to the universe. And you need to understand that that's more important than just believing that I can manifest anything I want. The idea that, well, I believe in manifestation, therefore I'm a manifester. There's more to it than that, because you can consciously believe whatever the heck you want. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have the ability to manifest it. But don't worry, we all have the infinite capacity to manifest if we can understand and accept on the deepest levels our relationship to ourself, our relationship to the universe, and then take corresponding actions. You have to have both. You know, the one thing that the New Testament got right is that faith without works is dead. Believing in manifestation, believing in love and light, believing in all that is great, and it is definitely a component to it. But if you cannot match it with appropriate action, it's just that. It's just fluff banging around inside of your head. So let's examine, first off, what the 5 steps to magnifying your manifestation is. The first one is, we're going to talk about this in depth. First one is, you must examine your assumptions about what is possible. Examine your assumptions about what you believe is possible. That's how I should have said it. Examine your assumptions about what you believe is possible. What you think up here is possible and what you think in your unconscious mind may be 2 very different things. We're going to talk about that. The second step is, you need to understand what you believe you don't deserve. Not what is or isn't possible. That's a whole other thing. So even if you get to adopt the assumption that everything is possible, it's an infinitely possible experience here, then you must then go a step further and examine, okay, what do you believe that you don't deserve? Because that is going to tell you what your limits are. This is very important that you understand this. People think, you know, especially people jumping into the New Age thing or jumping into the law of attraction, jumping into manifestation. You know, you jump in and you're excited about this idea about, you know, I'm just going to program my subconscious, which is not really what you mean. You mean unconscious. I'm going to program my unconscious and then I'm just going to manifest everything that I want. Well, the problem is, if you don't know what your limits are based on your belief about yourself, what you don't believe you deserve, you don't know what your limits are. So you'll run into that age-old problem with the law of attraction and manifestation. I'm doing all the stuff. I'm manifesting. You might even say I'm taking action, but for some reason it just isn't coming together. Well, that's because you may not be aware of your own self-imposed limitations based on what you believe you deserve. Really important. There's a difference there between the conscious idea of what is possible and what you believe you deserve. What you believe you deserve is an emotional state. It's a psychological state. What you believe is possible is an intellectual idea. Intellectual ideas have only one function. The function of intellectual ideas is to give you the feeling that you can then go do something. If you have just the intellectual idea and you do not have the ability to take action on it, it is worthless. Okay? So, first step is examine your assumptions about what you believe is possible. Second, you must ask yourself what it is that you don't deserve in your life, because those are your limitations. And then three, you need to destroy those limitations within yourself, which means you have to destroy your attachment to your limitations. So it sounds easy. Oh, I'll just get rid of it. Not always the case. If you can, listen, actually it's very simple. It's not easy. And everybody's different. Some people, once they see that, they go, oh, and they just reshuffle things and boom, they're in business. For the rest of us, myself included, then you got to do some work on yourself. Fourth step is reset your intentions with new assumptions about your relationship to the universe. What I said, I'm not talking about reset your intentions with new assumptions about what you believe is possible. Because you can look at other people, you know, look at that guy, he's a billionaire. Look at that person, he's a, number one, whatever, Olympic athlete. He's whatever it is. He's the best in the world. He's the world famous musician of all time. You can believe it in others, but can you believe it in yourself? That's a different ball of wax. Fifth step, repeat. This is an ongoing process. You don't just do it once and then that's it. Ideally, you do it once and you shift up a level, but bear in mind that your old ways of doing things have a strong ability to pull you back into what you understand because it's safe. And people are, you know, I'm not judging it. I do understand, but everybody on some level is addicted to their limitations because they understand it. And bear in mind that even when you come to realize that you have some crazy psychological limitations that people really honestly believe that they don't deserve to have money, or they believe that money is evil. This happens all the time. I get this all the time from people. In varying ways, they put it in the same way. They're saying that money is evil. What they really mean by that is that they're saying that they don't deserve to have money. They don't realize it, but that's what they're saying. And so that has a comfort. Saying money is evil is a way to comfort and justify your poverty. Because then you can say, yeah, well, I don't want money anyway because money is evil. It's like, you're playing ball with the next door kids and they don't want you to play. And you say, well, I'm just going to take my ball and go home. I don't want to play with you anyway. Money is evil. It's really what's going on. I know some of you might get really upset that, money is energy. That's all it is. I am well aware that there are corrupt governments, there's corrupt banking system, there's corrupt, corporations, there's all corrupt all kinds of things. I know that there are conspiracies out there to take your money and to keep you enslaved and keep you sick. I'm well aware of that. I'm not an idiot in terms of that. I operate from the assumption that those things will not touch me if I don't choose to be a part of that. If I don't choose to be a part of that in my mind, I can still walk around and have a bank account and do all kinds of things and live in countries and pay taxes and do all that, and none of that oppressive garbage, that controlling garbage will touch me. I wish I could have had, maybe I should do something about it, but I wish I could have had some kind of camera crew with me or somebody with a drone this past week, and you could have seen the beach that I was surfing on, which is just down the street from me here. But what's interesting is that people drive up and down the coast to the well-known spots, or the spots that's easy to get to. And in the middle is this perfect surfing spot. Waves are just like unbelievably good. The kind of waves that people travel to Bali and Hawaii to surf. And you have to walk a kilometer through the forest. I've shown you the video of it. It's not like you can't see it. You drive by it, you see it. But people go past it because they go, for whatever reason. And there's a bunch of people, you'll see a bunch of people surfing down the beach in places where the waves aren't quite as good because they understand it, it's convenient, they can drive their car there. But this place, unless you actually put the effort in to go looking for it, which isn't that hard, you're not going to find it. I found it because I just took a walk up the beach. And somebody had said something to me. I didn't even understand him. His Australian accent was so thick. And I was out in the water and I had my earplugs in and he's talking about down the beach and he's pointing down the beach. And I didn't know what he said, but I said, okay, the universe is telling me something. And I took a walk on the beach and I didn't know where I was going. I was just enjoying the beautiful sun and the water, and I came upon this spot. And these waves, they were tiny. It was a little too small to surf, but I could see that when waves come, there's a channel out there, the waves are going to be perfect. And I went, this is where I'm surfing next. And I've been surfing there ever since. And since we've had some swells that have come through, I've had the best surfing of my life. Without a doubt, the past month, best surfing of my entire life. None of that would have happened if I wasn't willing to change my assumptions about what I deserve. So I'm only teaching you what I do myself. So let's go over the 5 steps again. Number 1, examine the assumptions about what you believe is possible. That is different than wanting to fit in. I used to go to church as a kid, and all through my, even through my first few years of college. I was a staunch born-again Christian, went to church all the time. The pastor would get to those passages in the Bible where Jesus said, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you could move that mountain. Now, I didn't know anybody in that religion who actually practiced that. You hear about it in the faith, the faith healers and the prosperity people, but none of them really, in my experience, never really had anything they weren't really able to do anything with that belief. They went to church and talked it up. And they do things like, I believe and I believe and I just believe, and they try to convince themselves that they believe, but I never saw it. And even in the ones that, just your traditional Baptist hardcore church, the pastor would sit up there and he would say, do you have faith the size of a mustard seed? Like Jesus said, do you have that kind of faith? And he would say it in such a way, in a rhetorical way, that listening to it, your only response would be, no. Because, you knew sitting there that you didn't have the faith to move mountains, and the guilt would just creep inside of you. The guilt would creep inside. So the point is that you can talk about what you believe is possible till the cows come home. I believe that I can intend anything that I want. That's all up here. That means nothing if you don't then examine what you believe you deserve. So what I want you to do is I want you to write a list of all the things that you don't, what you don't deserve. I just shared with you the scenario of finding I'm not done looking for perfect waves, but I found, in this past month, I've just been surfing as much as I can possibly stand my body. And, having experiences, and having them myself, being out there, maybe 1 or 2 other people maximum will be out there surfing these perfect waves, no shortage of waves, and there's nobody out. It's just like this hidden little gem. And nobody's even trying to go out. That's the amazing thing. It's just right there in front of your eyes, but, people go after what they believe they know, where it's going to be. So what you believe is possible is not the same as what you believe you deserve. So I want you to write down all the things that you think you don't deserve. Then don't stop there, because you don't want to stay there. Then you're going to look at all those things. Those are your limitations that you're going to destroy. I could get into some more specifics, but it gets a little too personal, and I don't want to do that. But I am coming up against those limitations myself. There are. Truth is that I'm doing quite well. Physically, I'm doing well. Financially, I'm doing good. I've this experiment, of coming out here, selling everything. In case you're new to the channel, you can go back and watch, and I share over time. I went through this big risk of selling or giving away everything that I owned and just living out of a suitcase and coming here to Australia and who knows what. And it was definitely the best decision I've ever made. And I have everything that I thought I wanted and more. And I know I'm not done yet. So I am still bumping up against some limitations in myself. Physically, I'm in good health. I mean, it really. I say that not as bragging. I'm knocking on Formica here. I am really grateful that the health that I have, and every day that I have the health and the strength to go out there and surf, I do it. I can feel that I don't have the lung capacity and stamina, because surfing is a very aerobic sport. You don't realize it, but it's actually a lot of hard work. I don't have the aerobic capacity that I used to have to paddle all the time, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I can get bigger, thicker boards, and that'll fix that problem. In fact, it has. There are guys out there on little tiny boards that are younger than me, and they can't catch the waves, and I'm catching all the waves because I'm that old guy with the big thick board. But I'm still bumping into limitations about. I'm becoming conscious as I think about what I want in my life, other areas that I don't have everything that I know that I want and I deserve. Few areas left that I want to continue to build into my new life. I'm bumping into what I don't think I deserve based on age, and then other things. And what's happened is I'm realizing once again, this isn't new, but I'm realizing once again that these limitations, these beliefs are going on all the time, and when you're not consciously aware of it, you just react to it. Like, money is evil. Well, why would I want that? Money is evil. I already know that what's going on is that there's a tape playing in there saying you don't deserve money, you don't deserve money, you don't deserve money. You don't feel that. All you know is that when somebody talks about money or you see somebody with money, you get angry. You get angry and you get frustrated, and your first response to justify your poverty is to say money is evil. But what you're not conscious of is that tape is playing. If you can stop the tape and go, oh, hang on. I don't have a choice here. That tape is making the choice for me. My emotional reaction and my judgment about money is just simply the emotional diversion that you take yourself through so you don't have to face the humiliation of feeling like you don't deserve to be given all of the resources in life. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. What don't you deserve? Be honest. It's not true, it's just a belief, but the beliefs will set what you bring into your life based on what you're willing to bring into your life. Here's another example. I've heard guys say this. I've said these kinds of things before about women and men, especially the MGTOW boys will say things like, women are just after your money. They just want to steal your sperm so that they can have kids and then take your money and divorce you. You can't trust them. They're manipulative. I don't even have to know you. If you talk like that, I already know what is really going on is that you desperately, desperately, desperately want a woman to love you and to accept you. And you don't believe you deserve it. Maybe your mom wasn't all that great. Maybe you had a bad experience, a bad marriage, whatever the hell it was. Probably because you had bad experiences with your mom or your mom wasn't perfect. And so the pain of not being loved and accepted is so great, you protect yourself by saying women are evil, women, manipulate women, take your money, women, blah, blah, blah. I already know. But you're not willing to look at that as your own limitation that you've set for yourself. And if you're willing to go, wow, I think and I feel that, and that's no fun. The thing to destroy limits is, let's just say, for example, that you are absolutely of the belief, whatever your limitation is. Money is evil. You can't trust women. You can't trust men. Women do the same thing on the other end. You can't trust men. Whatever it is, if you're willing to look at that and go, okay, well, how would I like it to be? Let's just assume for argument's sake that whichever side you're on, women are manipulative or men are manipulative, or, can't trust men, can't trust women. Okay, I'll give it to you. Let's assume that you're right. Now, what if you could create the universe differently? How would you create men or women? How would they treat you? And then start fantasizing. You can say, I know this isn't real, but you know what I'd really love? I'd love it if a man knew how to listen to me and to respect my feelings, and knew how to listen to the hints when I'm trying to tell him how I want him to treat me, or if he would just be there for me. This is the main complaint that the feminine has. I just want to be able to depend on him. The main complaint for men is, I wish he would stop nagging me or stop criticizing me. We could talk about that. I've talked about it a bunch of times. But create in your mind the ultimate fantasy of what it is you don't believe you deserve, or what you think is not attainable. Give yourself the right to go, okay, it's impossible to have that, but if I could have it, what would be my perfect fantasy? And then you go on to step 4. You reset your intentions with the new assumptions that you don't believe. You don't believe them. You can have doubts and say, I know that man doesn't exist, but I'm going to reset my intentions for a man who looks like this and does this, and because that's what you truly want. That's step 4, by the way. Reset your intentions with new assumptions about what you believe and what you deserve. And then repeat. So, step 1, examine your assumptions about what is possible. 2, take a look at what you psychologically, emotionally, not mentally, but emotionally believe you don't deserve. 3, fantasize about the perfect thing that you want or that you're trying to manifest, even though you know it doesn't exist. And by doing so, you will be destroying your limitations. That's step 3. Step 4, now reset your intentions as though you do believe that you deserve this thing that doesn't exist, and create that new assumption. The new assumption is that men are amazing. Men are really dependable and kind and loving and gentle. Women are loving and nurturing and supportive and truthful and whatever it is. You reset with new assumptions even though you don't believe them. Because when you went to church the first time and the pastor stood up there and said that you are evil, you are born in sin, and you deserve to die, I guarantee you the first time you heard it, you didn't believe it. You didn't accept it. Because common sense tells you that's not real. But because of the repetition of it, and because of the pressure to fit in with your family and with your community and be accepted, you chose to create that assumption even though you didn't believe it. Step 5, repeat. Examine your assumptions about what you believe is possible. Step 1. Step 2, what don't you emotionally believe you deserve? Step 3, destroy your limitations by imagining the perfect reality. Step 4, reset your intentions with this new impossible reality and keep doing that to make it an assumption. Step 5, repeat on a daily basis. Keep doing it. Okay, so I told you that I was going to give you some practical shamanic techniques. In order to do that, you're going to go to Manifestation Mastery Course 32B. This is 32A. 32B, to have that, you're going to go to thunderwizard.com. You're going to go to thunderwizard.com and you're going to click on Manifestation Mastery Course. Why are you going to do that? You're saying, "Well, I don't want to subscribe." I know you don't. But you're going to do it because your need to give yourself what you really want is more important than your need to stay poor. Okay? So you're going to go to thunderwizard.com, click on Manifestation Mastery Course. You're going to subscribe. Hey, if you don't like it, you're going to have access to all of the high-level manifestation and shamanism courses. Didn't even talk about that. And you're going to have access to all of the other 31 videos and practical shamanic exercises to manifest. And you're just subscribing on a month-to-month basis. If after one day you don't like it, you can discontinue. Big deal. What have you got to lose? You owe it to yourself to check it out. People who follow my directions to the letter and keep following my directions, their lives change. And what I teach isn't something that I read out of a book. It's not something that, some spiritual guru on a mountain said and I just chose to believe it. This is something I have proven in my life, and I practice this. What I teach you is what I practice on a daily basis. That's how I know it works. Okay? Go to thunderwizard.com, click on Manifestation Mastery Course and subscribe. And you can click on 32B and I will give you specific techniques to go through these 5 steps. Okay? I'll see you over there.